Hello and welcome everybody. I am so excited that we get to spend this time together and learn a little bit more about generative AI. Now, before we do that, I am Priyanka Vergaria. I head the developer advocacy team here at Google Cloud, and I will be joined by two of my colleagues to walk you through a demo of Duet AI. But before we do that, I want to walk you through a little bit of generative AI, where it's going today, where we came from, and where we are at, and then jump into Duet AI. So, as we all know, generative AI is transforming how we interact with technology. We are all already starting to use it today for so many different things. But where did it come from? Here is a deep history of research and innovation at Google. Since 2017, since the first large language model paper, Transformers, that we wrote, to today, in 2023, we launched Bard. And now, as you've already heard, we recently launched Gemini, which is our most recent and most capable and most general model to answer so many different type of modality questions. So I want to give you an example here. When we as humans watch a movie, we use all of our different senses. We watch it with our eyes. We also sense it through our ears. We hear the voice. We sometimes read, and we're also parsing and identifying things and characters in the movie. So all of that is quite a multimodal experience that we as humans are able to go through, right? And that is exactly what Gemini is able to offer. That is the model that we're starting to see being used in lots of different use cases. Now, there's also business use cases that all these models are being used in. Now, this comes with a lot of super scalable AI infrastructure, access to world-class, state-of-the-art models that we just talked about, including Gemini, and a platform to develop and deploy our production-ready applications. So AI-powered solutions to assist everyone in day-to-day life, and then a broad ecosystem of partners that we work with within Google Cloud. So all of these things we've sort of packaged together so that you can get that in the generative AI portfolio as a part of Google Cloud. And we're going to see a flavor of that real soon. But before we get into that, I want to give you, just to orient you a little bit in terms of what this portfolio looks like and how you can utilize generative AI from Google Cloud. So if you look at the very bottom layer, that is our super scalable AI infrastructure, which includes the GPUs and the TPUs. Then comes the access to that world-class, state-of-the-art models that I was talking about through Model Garden. So you'd get into Google Cloud in Vertex AI, and you'll just right there on the dashboard, you're going to see Model Garden, which is where you can select all the different models that Google's creating, but then also the models that other companies are creating that you can then deploy from the Model Garden and adapt to your use cases. Then comes the next layer, which is the platform to develop and deploy the production-ready applications. And this is where we're talking about how do you actually take that model, modify it to your use case, but then also deploy that model so it can be served and used in your applications. And that itself is also an entire task, right? So that is what that platform with Vertex AI provides you. And then the last layer, which is the AI-powered solutions to assist everybody in their day-to-day work. And that solution piece includes a lot of different things, from document AI to customer support, but it also includes Duet AI, which is what we are going to talk about and focus for the rest of the show today to show you examples of how AI-powered solution, Duet AI, can help you as a developer build faster. And with that, I am going to, these are some of the features of Duet AI, which you're going to see a lot more in detail when you actually see the demo. But you'll see AI-assisted development and operations to build, deploy, and operate faster. Then you're also going to see some of the privacy and IP protection features are sort of hard to demo, but I'm going to mention it here that it helps protect your environment, your data, and your IP with built-in security features. But if you need to learn more about this, all the resources that we send to you are going to include information on that. And then it's the third thing, which is it's powered by the Google AI foundational model. So the model that I showed earlier, that we talked about earlier from Model Garden, we sort of took that model. We started off with Palm, still in the process of moving the model to Gemini, but that is what we're using in the background to power the experience for Duet AI. With that, I am going to hand it off to Chloe Condon and Daryl Ducharme for taking us through a demo end-to-end.
All right. Thank you so much, Priyanka. We're very excited. We have been prepping for this day to show y'all all of the different things that you can do with Duet AI. We're going to do a little bit of an intro first on who we are and who these people are who are going to be presenting to you today. Hi, everyone. I'm Chloe. I am a Google Cloud Developer Advocate. I work on the regional team here at Google, teaching people all about cloud. I live here in the Bay Area and love to teach developers how to do all of the nice, interesting, cool things that we can do using AI, using cloud. I've been working in the cloud space since 2018, dabbled a little bit in some different clouds. And a fun fact about me is I really enjoy crafting and making miniatures. And you're probably wondering, audience, Daryl.
I would love to see.
What does that mean? Well, I have an example to show folks here that maybe will give some folks a chuckle. This is something that I tweeted out a while ago about the Google Pixel charger looking a little bit like a tiny gravestone. And I actually turned it into a tiny gravestone. This sits on my desk now, actually, and it charges my phone when it's dead.
Sort of like techno-necromancy.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's a great segue into my co-presenter today, Daryl.
Hi, I'm Daryl. I am also a developer advocate, and I actually live in the Seattle area. I like to call myself an entertainer by nature and a tech muse by trade because I love to help people see what is possible with tech. I have done lots of different things in entertainment, but to show you my nerd cred, I did own an Amiga 500, and that was the computer I used in high school and into college. So I had some fun on that computer. Sadly, it went away with Commodore. But another fun fact about me is I was actually a professional wrestler for 4 years. Here's a couple pictures of me going to the ring or actually in the ring with former WCW wrestler, actually.
So needless to say, we'll be putting on a bit of a show for you today and showing you all the cool, interesting things that you can do. This is a little summary of what we're going to be covering today. We're going to start with code generation, probably the most important part, I would think, of developing with the cloud. And then we're going to context switch a little bit and go to test generation. And then if we need it, we're going to do a bit of debugging.
Yeah. And then afterwards, we'll go into the other side of the fence of development is after you've deployed something, you might have problems that you find in the logs. So we'll go show how you can explain the logs so you can understand it better. And then we'll go into the security command center and show you how you can see alerts and understand alerts thanks to Duet AI.
And then we'll have a Q&A segment. Let us know in the chat where you're joining us from. We'd love to know what brings you here. If you have any burning questions during the demo, feel free to drop them in the chat and we will be covering them at the end. We'll bring Priyanka back and do a Q&A. But shall we dive into this demo, Daryl?
Let's dive in. I'm very excited about this demo. We've been, really a very tasty little demo we've got here.
Ooh, delicious.
Yes. So to set the stage, I am a front-end developer for the Symbol Superstore, which seems to sell a lot of food. That's a lot of S sounds, I just realized. And I've got this to show. And why don't you play the role, Chloe, of my project manager.
Okay, I'll cross my arms and keep you on time. Make sure that you're doing everything in a timely manner. Okay, so Symbol Superstore.
Yeah.
What is the Symbol Superstore, and what are we going to be doing with it?
Well, basically, we sell these foods and stuff that maybe they're superfoods. Maybe that's what we call them. And I wanted to show you that I've been working on the page for the new arrivals. Look, this is what I was thinking it might look like.
Okay, so I see a page here. I'm thinking my PM hat on here. I think I want to see the images on here and maybe not have it say test product and I'll be $1.99.
Okay, yeah. And being the developer, I've kind of worked on the back end a little bit, so I think I could do this. And I also know that I've got Duet AI, so I think I'll use that for help to kind of speed things up.
Okay, and what I would love for folks to really follow us along with here, we know that you all know how to call an API and to do these things and write the code yourself, but really what we want to teach you today is how you should be thinking about incorporating AI into your development process. So let's do it, shall we?
All right. Well, let's head into my actual code base here.
Okay, I'm seeing VS Code. This looks very familiar.
Yes, this is VS Code. And basically, here are some of the handlers. Since I've been a front-end developer, I maybe want to take a look at the handlers to kind of get an idea of how other people have set it up.
Okay.
But I could spend time looking at that and go, okay, yeah, I remember how to do that. What I can also do here, and I am just going to, we have a little space here for the code. I'm just going to go in and I'm going to ask Duet AI to help me out here.
Okay, so I'm picturing you're going to go to some sort of chat interface. You're going to type it in there.
Hold on. I don't need to go to a chat interface. I'm just going to write a comment right inside the code here.
Okay.
That, you want the new products, so I want to get the new products.
Okay, so I see you're typing natural language here. This looks like something I would just comment in my code to kind of pseudocode it ahead of time anyway.
That's exactly right. Now, obviously, Duet AI doesn't know what a new product is, so let's tell it that it's one that was added less than 7 days ago.
All right.
All right. We don't want to show any products that we don't have in stock, so let's make sure we also say that the quantity is greater than 0.
I almost feel like you're maybe a more senior or principal engineer delegating a task to a more junior engineer and giving very concise directions.
Yeah, absolutely. You could look at this as you being the senior engineer and Duet AI as the junior engineer, and you're just checking on, doing a code review, if you will. But what code is there? Let's see what they give us here.
Okay, that was really fast. It just magically appeared. What? This is magic.
It does appear a bit like magic, and we'll just accept the code here. But any sophisticatedly advanced piece of science and technology will look like magic, and that's what Duet AI is. That was a bad paraphrase, but it was what it was.
So what is this? I'm seeing some underlines here. What is this?
Okay, so this is actually a great thing. Duet AI wants to make sure that you don't make any problems with stuff that might be licensed code. Now, we're doing this for a demo, and we know that this code isn't under any licenses anyways, so we're going to just hit this quick fix so that we don't have to see that anymore.
Beautiful.
But yeah, making sure that you've got the right code licenses for any code that you do, in fact, use.
So this is very specific, and it seems to have included a lot of context for our code base.
Yeah, the great thing about Duet AI is it doesn't just use what it's learned, but it also uses code that you have already showed it for context, your own code, the code that you've got open in tabs and stuff. So it takes other code that's already in this index.ts file and uses it to help it know what it needs to do. So let's take a look here really quick, checking over our code. This is for new products,
okay,
which is what we want. It gets it from the Firestore collection inventory, where the timestamp is greater than, and look at that. I said 7 days, and it put out the calculation for me without me having to do that at all. It's limited to 30, which is good, because I could have thousands upon thousands of new products, and we really only need a few for that page.
Right.
And then it's got this whole idea and definition of what a product is.
Wow.
And that comes from earlier in the page where there's many other things that get product data for other calls.
Now, if we hadn't used Duet AI for this, Daryl, I'm putting on my PM hat, I'm crossing my arms. I imagine there would be a lot of context switching involved with getting the different parts of the product that you want to call. How is this different than your usual workflow without Duet AI?
Usually what I would do is I actually would start with that pseudocode and write in, I think I need to do this, and whatever pseudocode for what I think I need to do. And then if I didn't quite know what the exact format was, maybe I've been programming in a different language or a different framework for a while, and so I need to get back into it, then I might look for some example code to remind me how to do it.
So a little bit of context switching to maybe Stack Overflow, a little Googling, maybe looking at your API, figuring out what to call. But this literally took like 2 seconds. I feel like I blinked and the code appeared.
Yeah, it's very quick, and it is kind of like going to a Stack Overflow or something like that, with the difference being this is more specific to what I requested. It's not, you could do something like this.
Not like a fill in the blank of like, maybe I have something like this. Okay, but does it work? That's my question.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Let's not put the cart before the horse here.
Sure.
So what we want to do is we are in the right folder.
And we haven't left VS Code at all yet.
No. We are just gonna get this going and have it run locally so that we can really see what's doing. And it looks like it's up and running locally now.
Seen some emojis. Seems good.
Emojis are always good, except when it's a movie. And so what we're going to do is we'll make a little call to the local host. We know it's listening on 8,000, and it was the new products endpoint. And we'll do that. And it looks like we've got a big JSON string right there coming back. It works.
Wow. Okay. And I'm sure people at home are like, okay, they rehearsed this. They've done this a million times. Obviously, we've practiced this a couple of times, but I want to see beyond the code generation. What else can we do? Can we maybe make tests? Can we deploy it?
Well, that's a great plan. But as a developer, it always sucks to switch over to writing tests.
Yes.
Because once again, it's a context switch. Tests are almost a whole different way of thinking than regular developing.
I feel like when I have to switch modes to start writing tests, I might maybe go get a coffee, do a little lap around the office, deep breaths.
Yeah, but how about we get Duet AI to help me so that I don't have to switch modes so fast. I can let Duet AI show me where to go.
Okay.
Yeah. So I could, right here where it says test, get new products, demo begins here. I could, in fact, write a comment just like we did before, but let's not do that. Let's actually show people that you can there is a chat window that we've got that we can write and ask it questions right here. So let's see. We're using Express.js. So we want to, help. Whoops, I need to spell help right.
And this is all still in VS Code. We have not changed the tab yet. We are just staying right in the console. I'm not having to switch my eyesight from dark mode to light mode, which I love. But this is so great because I feel like I'm not having to wrap my brain around going into different development modes. It's all just in one center within Cloud.
Right. This is all just the online version of VS Code. So we are still all in one place.
All right, so what are you typing in the chat here?
So I'm trying to be as specific as possible about writing these tests. So I'm telling it to write an express.js test using jest in TypeScript for the get new products handler, which is in the index.ts file.
Okay, this is very impressive because I feel like I would always assume that that a chat like this wouldn't have the context for what I'm talking about, but it's all going off of our code.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And so this is telling it kind of the context, but let's actually write a specific test for something.
Sure.
So we should check if it gets a 200 response code.
Sure. So it's almost like asking a coworker, like, hey, can you help me with this task? Here's specific instructions that I need. Here's what I want to have it return. And this is all just, if we type this in, Daryl, am I gonna have to copy and paste all of the context from my code into this, or is it gonna generate actual tests that are gonna test this immediately for me?
Well, let's show you what Duet gives you, because it's
Okay.
actually really quite a smooth transition. I also want to do something a little more than just 200. So that whole page can show 8 items. So I'm going to check and make sure the list of items is 8 long.
Okay, so we're checking if the response code is 200 and the list of new items, and you're just putting this in natural language, which is easy. It's just like making a request, which I love.
Yeah, so now we'll put that in. It'll think for a little bit.
Okay, whoa, that was very fast too.
Right, once again, here we go. We've got, we'll open this up a little wider for you. You can see it gives us everything, not just the test, but also the import statements. And that is very important to have so that you can actually run the test later. Now we're putting it in an already existing test, and it looks like we have all these already in here. So you asked about copying, right?
Yes. Do I need to like copy, paste? I know a lot of times when I go on Stack Overflow, it'll be like insert your code here kind of thing. How do I put this in here?
Well, see this little plus button?
Yes.
Let's just click that.
Whoa.
And there it is, right there. And I'll just take out the import statements really quick.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And we've got the test written right there.
Okay, it generated it, but it doesn't work.
Okay, you're really hardcore about whether
Well, I
or
know
not
we
stuff
have
actually
developers.
works.
The developers are watching live and they're like, these folks, they have it's a video. It can't be live.
Okay. Let's test it here. All right, let's test it. So we are in the right folder. So we're gonna run it and we're gonna see. So it's gonna run the tests now.
This looks promising.
Yeah,
okay.
well, it's running them at least. It hasn't shown that, no, this doesn't even run at all. So the good news is you can run the test right away that it gave us. And if the code is broken for any reason, then it will let us know.
Now, Daryl, how long would this have taken you if you weren't using something like Duet AI? If you, let's say, starting from we've been doing this demo now, maybe let's say like, 10, 15 minutes. I imagine this would have taken a lot longer if you had to generate it yourself.
For me, yeah, I think the context switch alone would have taken most of the time to remember, like, what framework are we using in this project? What,
Right.
What am I thinking about? What do I want to test? And really all I need to know is what do I want to test? And I've been able to give it to Duet, and that's what I get.
Great, awesome. And can we see this deployed and up and running now that we know it looks like most of our tests
All
passed.
of our tests passed.
Okay.
So, so what I just need to do here is I will just need to send this up to a Cloud Run service we've got here.
And if you're just joining us now, we earlier showed the Symbol Superstore where we had a page where we're displaying all the new product items, and we just ran a bunch of Duet code that I think is going to generate that page for us. I don't know, I'll believe it when I see it. I haven't rehearsed this at all.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of whys there.
Why?
Why? Why
That's
is
a
it
great
doing that?
question. Why, Daryl?
So we are, this is basically everything's in Terraform, and it's just sending it up to the service. So if we were to look at it right now, it would still show us the inventory page or the new inventory page the way it was with blank stuff. But once this is done and we deploy it, it'll actually show us the new page with the new code that we've already written.
And is there anything that we need to do within the console?
Yes. We will need to come over here to the console and Cloud Run and check our revisions. And we'll just need to deploy a new revision once that is done here. Let me just see something
We
here.
told you we're doing it live. We didn't want to fake it for y'all.
Yeah, I like this is, I don't know if I'm just getting long lines or what here.
Well, in the meantime, Should we spin it up again?
Yeah, let's spin it up again here.
See, this is the beauty of doing stuff live, y'all. You actually get to see us debug this, which is fun.
So let's actually edit and deploy a new revision here.
Okay. So now we're just within Cloud Run, it looks like.
Just within Cloud Run. And if you didn't know how to do this, you could easily ask how to get this done. But I am just going to set this up really quick. And I just want to check, see if it's done running yet. We are.
So when we are trying to put this in, so it looks like, what step of the process are we at here with the Cloud Run page? This is where we're trying to deploy it?
Yeah, this is where we're trying to deploy a new version based on the changes we just made.
Okay.
So
I'm putting on my PM hat now, and I'm thinking, Daryl, I've scoped out this project for you. It's going to take you several days, I think, to generate all the tests and to deploy the code and to write the code to get all the new product inventory stuff. What are you going to do with all that extra time now?
I am going to take a break, go get some food probably, maybe.
You're going to innovate more?
Well, yes,
Okay.
that's what I'm actually going to do. But it would be nice if I could at least take a breather between innovations.
Yes.
So that is actually the beauty of this. So let's take a look now and see. We're still at the test project. So I think there was actually a slight problem in here that I just couldn't tell because.
Let's run it again.
Yeah, so
we're doing it live, everyone. We want to show you how real developers code.
Yeah, real developers make problems. I probably just misspelled yes.
Probably.
Because that's a hard word for me to spell. So, there we go. That's not a bunch of Y's. That's what we were actually thinking would happen.
This looks beautiful.
Yes.
We just want to make y'all sweat at home.
Do these people even know what they're doing? The answer is most of the time. Most of the time we do.
I think it's very realistic, though. I mean, when you're writing code, it's never running correctly the first time. So we just want to show you what happens with a real developer.
Right. So I'm going to get this set up to deploy again while that is checking. But yeah, I think you asked it quite well. The thing I love about this is this takes away all the boilerplate from me. The stuff that is less exciting for me to work on so that I can solve the more interesting problems when I'm developing. I don't want to spend so much time coding boilerplate that I know I just have to look up and remember how to put it in there.
Very mundane tasks.
Yeah, the mundane tasks aren't as fun. The fun tasks are really expanding my ability to develop solutions and try new things. So that's what I'm excited about, this allowing me to do, giving more time to improve things that we did.
Maybe get an extra coffee, an extra snack.
Yeah, so it is now officially set up. So now this should work more appropriately.
Moment of truth.
Moment of truth, but we got okay, and just now 100% to the new traffic. So let's see, new arrivals. Boom.
Ooh, I'm seeing some delicious food.
Yes, this is why I was thinking about food when you asked me what I was going to do. It's all these delicious foods that we've got here. It's hard not to think about food when you're looking at food.
Okay, so wait a second. Let me take a step back. I'm going through my little list in my head of all the things that we said we were going to cover. We generated code. We didn't have to debug this. Well, I guess we did kind of debug towards the end, but we didn't use Duet AI for it. We could have, though. Then we generated tests. And we were able to deploy it, all within not really leaving VS Code or Google Cloud whatsoever.
No, and it was a very quick process. You know, obviously, as you saw, we even went through the code that Duet gave us just to make sure, and it worked.
Great. Okay, so what is next? I'm thinking, well, we kind of spoiled it a little earlier because we showed folks, but maybe logs, Daryl?
Yeah, let's go into logging. And I said before that if you don't know how to do something, you can easily just open up Duet AI on the side here and say something like, where can I find logs.
Okay, I love this for someone who's totally new to Google Cloud overall. Maybe you don't know what area to click through and find it. Maybe it's named differently than a previous cloud provider you worked with. So, oh, great. So it's going to tell me exactly where to go here.
Yeah, so it gives us information. It knows, like what services we have and stuff that you might use. So you could use it from G-Cloud. But you and I have been doing this demo for a while, so I know that I just look up cloud logging.
Cloud logging. Okay, so when I think about logs, I used to work in the error logging and reporting space. I picture a lot of text, a lot of having deciphering through the text, figure out what does this actually mean? Is there a way that Duet AI can help me with that?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, let's take a look at some of these. I am always drawn in logs to the absolute worst stuff. So let's look at this.
Okay,
nice
you're the
error.
opposite of me because those scare me.
So we've got some stuff that's got the big red, multiple exclamation marks. Let's just pick any one of these. And
There's all that text. Ugh, I can't look at it.
Yeah.
It's too, okay, I gotta go take a lap. I gotta get a coffee. I gotta context switch.
Hold on. There's this little button to explain this log entry. And Duet thinks about it for a bit, and boom, here's the key points of the log entry.
Okay, wait, so it's giving me a bullet pointed list.
Yeah.
Okay, this is amazing. It's like having a little assistant in the corner where I'm like, hey, can you explain what these logs are? And literally having a readable, and this is in natural language too. This isn't just listing out the different things in here.
Yes, which is great, especially if you come into this as a front-end developer or a developer who doesn't necessarily work through logs a lot, but sometimes you want to check out what's going on, and this will help you figure that out.
Okay, so that's a pretty big time saver, I would imagine, when you're wanting to throw your computer against a wall and wondering why on earth your code won't run.
Yes, anything you can get to understand stuff better, which is actually another section I'd like to take a look at. Something that's super important, especially it gets more important every day, which is security.
Super important. Security is our #1 priority here at Google, I would say.
Yes, we are always doing stuff to make it so that you don't have to worry about certain security things on your side, but there's some stuff that you do, and we provide alerts if you're got our premium security command center subscription.
I love the idea or the visual of a little security guard in my code going, Chloe, wait, check this out. You might want to look into this. So how does Duet AI work with security then?
Well, it's much like we had for the logs.
Okay.
Where the information that you get from our security alerts from your system, stuff that maybe you've done that isn't very secure, comes up in this security overview. And once again, I'm drawn to the multiple exclamation marks.
You're braver than
and red.
me. I go for the green one.
Yes. And here it is. It lets us know what it is, and we take a look at it. But this is even better, because I don't have to press any more buttons. I just dug into it.
Whoa.
And AI already started generating a summary for me.
Okay, I love this. I'm a huge note taker. I love to take notes. I learn a lot by looking at a bulleted list. And it looks like this is literally just spelling out. It even has, I'm seeing there, Daryl, context including information for your account specifically and ways that I can actually take action on this immediately.
Yeah, right here.
When you're in a dire security situation, you need that information
away.
as soon as you can.
Yeah, right here. It actually says, to fix this finding, this is what you need to do.
Wow.
Which is tremendous help.
Okay,
especially for somebody like me. I don't have a degree in security, but I kind of understand it enough, and I'm like, oh, that's what I messed up.
And I think that speaks to a lot of the folks who are probably joining us. Let us know in the chat that a lot of us are wearing a lot of different hats within our organization, especially at smaller companies or startups. You can really be able to not be a security expert and have all this information provided to you. I love this, Daryl. Anything else that we should take a look at?
Well, Duet AI is constantly growing and changing, so there will definitely be more that you can look at on your own. But I think our demo here has kind of run its course. So if you would like to try it out, we will be sending you a link in your emails and stuff, but we do have a GitHub repository that shows you how you can set up the same project, try out what we tried, maybe try out some different stuff.
I love that, because I'm sure people are watching this thinking, okay, they rehearsed it. They have this down. They did it very fast. I really want to try it out myself. So people can literally just spin this up, do exactly what we did in this demo, maybe watch it again, follow along. Any tips that you have for developers who are joining us who maybe aren't used to integrating AI into their day-to-day practice as a dev?
I would say if there's anywhere where you're like, this is the drudgery of my work, see if Duet AI can help you with it.
I love
because
that.
it really takes out that part and allows you to, like you said earlier, spend more time innovating rather than just writing more boilerplate.
And we're going to share some QR codes that y'all can check out. We'll be linking to the GitHub repo. We'll also be sending this in the email as well. We also have a really great lab that you can try out yourself and get your hands dirty with this. I know watching is one thing, but doing is another.
That's how I learn best.
Yeah, well, we're getting some great questions in the chat here. Shall we take a little break and bring Priyanka back in, do a Q&A?
Absolutely.
All right, we will see y'all in a couple minutes. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, and welcome back, Priyanka, to the stage here. We got some great questions, y'all, so I'm super excited. Should we just dive in?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Question number 1 is from Adrian. What's the future of Duet AI, and what are the plans? Ooh, good question.
Yes.
Let me take that one.
Sure.
So, Duet AI, as you saw this amazing demo from Daryl and Chloe, we are working very hard to try and get every single software development lifecycle process assisted by Duet AI. So think about how we build, how we create code, how we test, how we deploy, all of the things. How do we secure our code? So every single process of the software development lifecycle, that's what we're working on to bring in. It's already, as you saw, it's doing lots of different things already, but at the same time, we're also, we have a lot more things to bring to you. So that's what our team is working on right now.
Ooh, I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Yeah. For development, oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next question.
Next question. It's a little long from Aditya, and the question is very interesting. So you're switching from a Java and Python development to ASP.NET developer. So if you're basically switching from one language to another, and you have some familiarity with .NET world, but you really don't have that hands-on experience with ASP.NET Enterprise code base and the language and frameworks and all of those different things that go into, learning a new language or having familiarity, but like brushing it up sort of thing. Does Duet AI have anything that will help catch up with this new language? And Aditya is hoping that it can generate some code and also explain things. And he's saying, is he asking too much for Duet to be able to do? Actually, Aditya, that is a great question. And you're not asking too much from Duet. You're really, what Duet allows you to do is, especially because you have some understanding of this language, you'd be able to ask Duet questions about, oh, how would I do this in ASP.NET? Because you know how to read the language, you will quickly catch up and also identify. Because the biggest thing about LLMs is, what if the answer is wrong, right? So as long as you have this basic understanding of the language, you'll be able to catch some of the things that if something goes off track, you'll be able to understand and catch that. So try it out. Honestly, you can actually, from the demo I did at Next last year, you can actually migrate a code base from one language to another. So you could also try things like that. Maybe you wrote this code in Python or Java, and you now want to have the same code written in ASP.NET. Give it a try. You can do that.
That's exciting. I'm going to try that when I get home, because I definitely work in different languages all the time, and helping me get farther in learning a language that I know I'm going to be working in, I'm trying that.
And it can be intimidating too, right? So that feature to be able to explain your code is going to be vital to be able to quickly get everything up and running and understand what's going on.
Absolutely. Use it as a learning tool, right? Great. Next question.
All right, next question is from Daniel. Is it important for your prior code to be properly commented in order for it to be understood by Duet AI? That is a great question. Daryl, do you want to take this one?
I can start off. And basically, because of all the code that Duet AI was trained on, it's not necessarily going to need really properly commented code. The comments are really when you're asking Duet AI for something and you make a comment that has the details that it needs is what's going to help you the most.
Yeah, so it's learning off of the code versus the comments that you create on it.
Exactly. And then I will add one more thing. While we are talking about comments, you can actually take a code that does not have comments, ask in chat, add comments to this code.
Oh, I love that. That saves me so much time.
Make it readable, right? Like, we all have struggled with code written by somebody else and
what is
with
this
no
code
comments.
that I wrote?
Exactly.
That's usually my case. What did I write?
Even, just going back myself after 10 days, I'm like, I have no idea what I wrote.
Or if you're going into an unfamiliar code base even and you're like, who wrote this code? Oh, I did. Duet, can you explain it?
Yeah, exactly. So utilize that. That's an amazing feature. Next question it's from Abhinav. Is the information in the prompt being used by models to be trained by Google? Actually, no. So all of the training, like Daryl mentioned earlier, has been done with our example code bases. We are not using any of your data or prompts to train the models. Next question. If I get an error running my code while I'm editing rather than logs later, can Duet AI help me with that? It sure can. I'm going to have Daryl actually, because he already has the code right here as he was demoing it to you, we can maybe see it in action, Daryl, right?
Perhaps, we were making something for new products, but perhaps that wasn't written by Duet AI, or perhaps Duet AI gave you something that there was a small error in it. I can come over here and get something that's already got a bug written in it, so I don't have to.
And we actually used this feature when we were putting this demo together.
Yes, we did, to make sure that we could get it to work here. So we're gonna select all here. Sorry, people. And then we will copy this. All right, and we'll just replace what we had in our index file with it, and we will do the same test we did earlier to see that there's an error. So we'll just replace that with this new one. Yep, that's got the error in it. So we will now save this, and we will run this on the back end. Oops.
And how should people be thinking of this in terms of, okay, they had an error. At what point do you go to Duet AI in your brain, Daryl?
I am a person who has been in the past, rather, terrible at asking for help.
I can relate to that.
But I would say do it as soon as you don't know where to go.
When you get stuck.
So you might see something and know where to go. That's fine. Follow what you know. But if you don't know, go ahead, ask Duet AI. They're not going to hold a grudge against you, okay?
You're not bothering Duet, always available.
Right, exactly. So we will get a second terminal here, and we will make the same curl call we made earlier.
I love that way of thinking of it too, Daryl. Like, I always feel like I try a bunch of different steps before I go to a real human person for help. And now I have Duet to go to, and I don't have to feel guilty about bothering them or interrupting their developer productivity flow.
Yeah.
Whoops, something, oh, I see. I see what happened. I didn't actually create the error I wanted. Hold on.
Our code is just too perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks, Duet.
Thanks, Duet, exactly.
So what kind of error are you throwing in here, Daryl?
I'm going to make it so that there's actually an error for Firestone, or Firestore. What am I thinking of, getting new tires? And we're just going to give it just a slight problem there. Okay, so yeah, now it's got it, and now we're gonna save it here. All right, now let's run this again.
So in theory, we're gonna get an error back. And then how are you thinking about this? Are you gonna put this into a chat interface? Are you going to do our magic comments that we did earlier?
I'm gonna use the chat interface, because once you have an error, then it's there's no code to ask it to write in. So you could go, let's see here, and we want to make that same call we just did. Oh, and here we got an error.
Yay.
Which says, cannot have inequality filter.
Okay, so at this point, I'm going to Stack Overflow. I'm opening up my Google search. I'm copying and pasting this into Google, but we don't have to do that, right?
Yeah, I got this error. Please.
We always say please.
I don't say please. That's
Sorry,
not my thing.
I grew up, well.
The please isn't necessary, but you can throw it in if you want.
You can throw it in there if you're nice, but
That's the wrong thing. That's not an error. helps if I actually know what I'm doing. It looks like Duet AI knows what it's doing more than me. So, okay. Let me just write it in really quick.
Yeah, from the productivity perspective, I have been just using it mostly for like improvised flow, right? I don't have to go to Stack Overflow because I don't have to go out of my interface, the IDE, to find things, which is what you just said around like searching and then looking for more references. It's going to do all of that in the back end for me.
And who knows the code better than the code itself, right?
Exactly.
Because in this case, Duet AI is working off of the code that we have provided it.
Yep.
So it's really just learning upon learning.
Yeah.
All right. So now it's thinking about it, and it can't help with it.
Okay, we can come back to it, Daryl. So let's just see. This is the world of AI and LLMs, right? They have to think sometimes. So we're going to take another question in the meantime.
Yeah.
You want to take this one?
Sure.
Yeah.
This question says, Duet AI can help me understand logs and security alerts, but what if I'm new to a code base? Can it help me understand that?
Absolutely. And it's funny because you all were just talking about this with an answer to a previous question. But let me show you how you would actually go about doing that in the code so you can actually see how it works. So just take a section of code that you want to understand and you highlight it. So I wish I was better with highlighting stuff on a laptop. And then you go down here and just say, explain this. And Duet AI will take a look at the code. And much like we did with logs, much like we did with security, it then, sorry, I can't help with this. So it's probably because it's new products rather than new products.
Why don't you clean history? And then it sometimes is better once you clean a little bit of history because it helps. And then I select, and instead of, sometimes I do right click and explain, sometimes I just, go with the chat, explain this, and that works as well. So depends on, what you're in the mood for that time. There's the explanation. The clear history is a good tool. Just know as you're using it. You clear history and it gets to, it just, sometimes history messes up things.
Yes, exactly. So.
Cool. Okay, next question. Obviously, you know how to do the stuff for this tutorial. Yes, we do. We practiced it. But what if I am trying to do something I have never done on Google Cloud before?
Great question. Great question. If you are in your console and you maybe even can kind of take a look at something I already did, you've got this little button up on the top right corner that just says Open Duet AI, and you can ask it a question about how would I do something. So we could say, how would I deploy to Cloud Run?
And I'm really not kidding. We did use this feature quite a bit to develop this demo and get it working. So you can really, it's basically the equivalent of you taking the time and going into the documentation yourself and trying to figure that out on your own.
Yeah, and if you take a look at it yourself, it not only gives me how I do that, but it also provides me some links so I can read the correct documentation for it as well.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you so much for this very exciting and amazing demo. I was thrilled watching it. I'm sure our audience is as well. And with that, we are going to wrap it up, give you all lots of resources to try all these things yourself. You're on the screen. You're going to see in just a little bit 2 links. Google short links, basically, where you can go try this exact sample out, the demo that Daryl and Chloe just showed, create your own superstore, I guess. And then the second piece is the code base itself. So there are some labs, and you can do step-by-step labs. Some are basic to sort of get you started, and some are as advanced as what you saw here. And then you also have the code base for a GitHub link, basically, for this code that we showed you. And then shortly after, you're going to see an email with lots more resources. So we're really excited for you to give this a try, give this a go. All your questions that you asked, you can literally try them out in there and let us know how it goes.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
At Google Cloud Next, we're announcing an amazing show.
All right, cue the music.
We're building the new way to cloud.
So that just means we get to think even bigger.
And now helping you connect like never before.
Let's start with development.
I'm loving this. Super cool.
AI is going to change the game for all of us.
Live on the demo stage.
I can't tell you how excited I am to continue blowing people's minds.
We're now in the midst of one of the most profound technology shifts in history. There's so much more for all of us to explore together that'll power this next chapter of digital transformation.